Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan held a phone call yesterday evening with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss Armenia-Azerbaijan relations. Readouts of the call from the two sides differed significantly. The Kremlin said the leaders discussed steps to implement a series of Moscow-brokered agreements aimed at normalizing relations between Yerevan and Baku, as well as, quote, the current situation on the Armenia-Azerbaijan border. It added that the call was held at Pashinyan's request. Pashinyan's office was more detailed, saying the leaders discussed Azerbaijan's blockade of Karabakh, which entered its 75th day today, as well as a United Nations court ruling earlier this week ordering Azerbaijan to end the crisis. The decision is legally binding, but the court has no enforcement powers. Pashinyan also spoke by phone yesterday evening with UN Secretary-General António Guterres to discuss the blockade in the UN court ruling. Pashinyan and Guterres considered the possibility of sending a UN fact-finding mission to Karabakh, according to the Armenian government's readout. It said Armenia and the UN would, quote, continue discussions on the issue, with Guterres pledging to, quote, keep the issue at the center of his attention. Azerbaijan has repeatedly blocked the UN's refugee agency from working in Karabakh, despite the fact that the 2020 ceasefire says the agency should supervise the return of refugees there. In other UN news, Armenia was one of 32 countries yesterday to abstain in a General Assembly vote on a resolution condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine, timed to mark the war's one-year anniversary today. 141 countries voted in favor of the resolution, while Russia and 6 other countries voted against it. The measure is not legally binding. U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price confirmed at a press briefing yesterday that, quote, there is an offer from European Council President Charles Michel to host negotiating teams from Armenia and Azerbaijan for another round of talks in Brussels. Quote, it's an opportunity, should they accept it, to sit down and continue progress, Price said, while noting that there is no meeting scheduled at present. Price first announced the possibility of another Brussels summit earlier this week, saying it may take place, quote, in the coming days. Armenia, Azerbaijan, and the European Union have not commented publicly on the remarks. The latest round of Armenia-Azerbaijan peace talks took place over the weekend in Munich, where U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken convened a meeting with Pashinyan and Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev. In a statement, Blinken said he, quote, took note of significant progress toward a peace agreement. The past year has seen the emergence of 2 separate tracks for Armenia-Azerbaijan peace talks, one led by Russia and the other led by the European Union and the United States. At yesterday's press briefing, Price declined to respond to Russian criticism of the EU-US peace track, saying, quote, my only comment is that we hope to see progress continue. In related news, Toivo Klar, the EU's special representative for the South Caucasus, arrived in Yerevan today for high-level talks with Armenian officials. He is then set to travel to Baku for further meetings with Azerbaijani officials. And former Armenian Foreign Minister Vartan Oskanian warned against Armenia's possible recognition of Karabakh as part of Azerbaijan in a lengthy address today, calling it a, quote, dangerous prospect. Quote, when the issue is put as Artsakh being part of Azerbaijan and you tell people there is an alternative, they immediately think of the mirror alternative. That is, for Artsakh to be independent or part of Armenia, Oskanian said. Quote, my alternative is this. The alternative to signing a document is not signing a document. He added, quote, today we must realize that Azerbaijan is not negotiating for peace. Azerbaijan is negotiating to legitimize what it plundered in the war and have that recognized internationally. Oskanian also touched on Karabakh President Arayik Harutyunyan's decision yesterday to dismiss Ruben Vartanyan as state minister, saying it, quote, watered down the success achieved at the International Court of Justice. Quote, now if the corridor is opened, will it be due to the court's decision or due to Ruben Vartanyan's dismissal, he asked. Since Vartanyan's appointment last November, Azerbaijani officials had repeatedly demanded that he resign or be ousted. Over the weekend, Aliyev said he would be willing to hold direct talks with Karabakh's Armenians only if Vartanyan left office. Oskanian served as Armenia's foreign minister from 1998 to 2008. Today's address represented his lengthiest public remarks on the issue since Azerbaijan began blockading Karabakh last December, prompting a major humanitarian crisis in the region.